I like that. No Man's Sky.
Nice. It made
Uh,
it through.
welcome everybody. Tonight we're going to be playing ETO, which is Clint's game. We spoke with him earlier in the week, and I really am enjoying talking to some of these game designers, and especially the ones that have been published to kind of get, you know, some of their ideas obviously have been good enough that publishers have decided to go with them. But listening to some of his thoughts on, uh, the larger scale games and the no luck approach. And I like how he talked about a big pool of dice, and if you spread it out enough, why even have dice? And so I thought that was a pretty good way of describing that, actually. And so what we have tonight is his postcard entry, um, European Theater of Operation, and myself and Richard. Hi, Richard. Welcome.
Hey.
We are going to dive into it. Meandering Mike says, "Greetings, all." Our friend Charles says, "Evening." Good evening to both you guys. If anybody wants to hop in and join us and you got Tabletop Simulator, you can load it up. Go to, I think it's Hissy Cat Studio. You'll find a room, and the password is Hissy. So, what we're going to do tonight, it's probably going to be about an hour long. Um, both of us have got some stuff going on. And there we go. That was sweet. But we're going to play a number of games of ETO. And depending on how long that takes, we may end up, I may get Richard to play me a little Richtofen so I can shoot him down because I want to get some of his feedback on that design. But we're going to go ahead and dive in here. And let me get, I'm going to minimize this one screen so I can see what we're doing here. So, Richard, you've actually read the rules. You want to kind of give us an overview of the game and what you do know of the mechanics?
So, in short, the game is played over 16 turns or less, and it's played between two sides, Germans and Allies. In every round, it starts with Allies. Allies do one action, and then Germans perform one action. The victory conditions are relatively simple. There is on the map we see space called Germany, and if there are no Germans in Germany and the units that belong to allies occupy the Germany, then the game ends. But allies have 16 turns to do this. If they do not do this, it's Germany win. There is no possibility of a tie.
Okay.
So when you look at the map, you will notice that the areas are connected together. So you move between them. One, you move to adjacent spaces one by one. Units, they belong to, well, they have two kinds of things on them. First, they have the number, so they have certain combat value. Infantry, they always have combat value of 1. Tanks have combat value of 2, but as in many games like this, you have, well, every counter has a flip side. So can sustain up to 2 hits. First hit weakens the unit, and there is a gentle white stripe on the other side. But in case of tanks, it also decreases their combat value from 2 to 1. When the unit receives second hit, it is removed from the game. So far, so good.
Yep.
The important thing is the stacking limit. For allies, stacking limit in UK space, and I just covered this space because all allied units begin in UK. Stacking limit generally in this game is 2 units per space. There are some exceptions, and exceptions are allies in UK and allies in Normandy. But
Okay.
if any side other than allies in those two spaces go above the stacking limit, the excess units are destroyed. The third exception that I didn't mention, you can see that allies have one paratrooper unit with parachute.
Mhm.
Those guys, they can be, they do not they do not count against stacking. So whoever will be playing as allies, they may have the paratroopers together with, I don't know, two tanks or one tank and one infantry.
Okay.
I The thing is, when I'm going over the rules, there are some places which I just do not fully comprehend, or I make me wonder. So when you take a look at the definition or the rules about the map, spaces connected by lines are adjacent. All spaces, not UK, are considered German controlled unless they contain Allied units. So this made me wonder because, so Hisi, if you will allow, let's assume that I will be playing the German side for at the beginning
Uh
for
huh.
our first game. And in the setup, Germans place their units anywhere outside of UK, max one per space. Germans have six spaces. They have six units, so one per space. But my big question is about the last sentence of this rule on the map. The spaces apart from UK are considered German controlled unless they contain allied units.
Uh huh.
It's easy to say that the German player controls the space where they have controlled, well, their own unit in,
Right.
but throughout the game I can leave the space. And according to the rules as written, Belgium is still German controlled. This, of course, is fine and dandy until you will consider that when the Allied units will be coming through the Europe, to control the space, they need to leave someone behind. Because if they advance with the front lines, if they will leave France empty, France, according to the rules as written, becomes German controlled.
That makes sense.
To me, it is puzzling because I thought that allies were liberating Europe and they didn't have to worry about the, I don't know, some partisans creeping by and
Now I see what you're saying, but it makes sense. Just okay. So I'm going to put this in the context of a postcard game, where you probably can't put every clarification of the rules. And I suspect that you only win the game by controlling Germany if you're allies. Is there any advantage to a square being controlled by the Germans? Any
and
game advantage, or is
uh,
it just
mhm.
verbiage?
There is. It's just that it's at the end of the section with the rules.
Uh huh.
Units that are units can be in supply or out of supply. Allied supply comes from UK and has to go through the connection of the friendly controlled spaces.
Okay.
German supply comes from Germany, and same thing through friendly controlled spaces. If your units at any time are out of supply, they cannot do anything. They cannot move, they cannot reinforce, they just have to stay put. So you cannot use them until you will reestablish supply.
Okay.
The-
So I can see where the problem could be as you get deeper into Germany, and you leave something behind, like in your example, you're now out of supply.
And this means that it's possible for allies to simply keep pushing, but if they will not leave anyone behind along the lines, they will just get isolated. And well, it has practical implications on the gameplay, really. So so this is the supply, this is the map, this is the possible
So
setup.
that's a good question for Clint because I can see what you're saying. So here's my suggestion for us tonight is let's say we're in say this situation, okay? And all of a sudden I move here. If I can trace back a line with no Germans, then I'm in supply. If this happens, then I'm isolated.
Now be careful because depending on on this interpretation or the other, it does have implications on the gameplay.
Okay, well, we got to pick a way to do it. What would you suggest then?
I belong to the family of literalist wargamers because English is not my first language. It's easy for me. The rules say about all spaces are considered German controlled unless they contain allied units. This
Okay.
is so really I played this game by myself, not with any fellow human being,
Uh-huh.
and this means that there were some spaces where I simply made a decision how to play this, but there was nothing else but the back of the postcard that talks
Dude,
about
wait,
the.
wait, wait, wait. Are you actually admitting that you used your brain to come up with some sort of common sense solution to lack of understanding the rules?
Unfortunately for me, common sense is not. There is nothing common about common sense.
Very true.
And especially designing my own games, I always worry about misunderstanding or conveying the wrong message in
Yeah.
the design. So I'm always nitpicky about the phrasing, and I'm trying to, as the expression goes, find the hole in everything.
Mhm.
Usually nitpicking about the phrasing. Anyway, so so this is one thing. The setup, however, let's put away the tanks, American
Okay.
tanks, away for a moment. The beginning of the game is like this, and the thing about this game, it's just like we were talking about this on our earlier program. It's decisions that shape the game. So right now, at the very beginning, it's up to the German player to decide whether he wants to put the stronger units up front, maybe defending Normandy, or maybe not. Now, we begin the first turn out of 16, maybe less, and here you will note that allied units, they are stuck together. So
Uh-huh.
it's not like you have only one American tank and only one American infantry. You have more of them. But the first thing that you have to decide as the allied player is basically whether you want to attack from UK and do the D-Day landings or not. Nothing happens if you will not move, but I guess that the opening move is really do the D-Day landing.
Is there any other option?
Well, so actions that you can choose from is basically attack, resupply, redeploy, and and this is kind of it. I mean, you do not.
Okay, dumb question. Can I do that? And if I win, do I win the game?
So the problem is attack is about moving units into adjacent space. Redeploy is moving all units among controlled spaces.
Okay.
Germany is not adjacent space and is not a controlled space,
But
so
what's
you
the
can.
rule for airborne?
Well, once again, there is no specific rule about airborne, so I believe that they can move either as the part of the redeploy action, move all units among controlled spaces, or they can move as a part of attack, send 1, 2 units plus paratrooper if desired into an adjacent space. So there are no long range gliders from UK that can land in Berlin in 1944.
Well, that's only because I didn't try hard enough.
Not in this game, in any case.
Fair enough. Okay. Okay, so my first attempt to break the game failed. I just can't parachute into to Berlin. Got it. Okay.
not right away.
No way. Otherwise, that would be a potentially a quick win. All right.
So the question that I would pose to you is which units you want to bring to Normandy. You can
Well, let
bring.
me ask this question next.
Mhm.
Since there are no dice, I mean, there are dice here, but these are for counters, not for gameplay. How is combat resolved?
Whenever you are doing the attack, you pick units, let's say tank and an infantry, and we total the value of those units that you are sending into the enemy territory against the value of the defenders. Do you have, is your total higher?
In this
Three
case,
is
yes.
three is higher than one, then this means that I am the loser and losing side takes one hit. Mm, and they have to retreat their units to adjacent controlled space. The German player would decide whether to go to France or Belgium. I'm
Okay.
sorry, my European geography is lacking. But the attacker, all attacking units, it is written in the rules, also take a hit. So there is always some kind of attrition going on.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You just force me out. Now, the additional possibility is, and this is something that you can do to make your D-Day experience a little more striking. 3 times in a per game, allied player can decide to declare not only the attack, but also major offensive. And what it means, you still move 1 or 2 units plus maybe a paratrooper,
Uh-huh.
but you triple your total. So suddenly
Okay.
it's 3 times 3 makes 9. Of course, it will be more than whatever I have, but if you triple, the defender always takes 2 losses.
Okay.
So one eliminated. Now, why this is important for the initial opening in Normandy is because if you will go at me like this, you still win, and I still will take 1 loss as the German.
Uh-huh.
But once again, according to the procedure for the attack action, defenders may cancel the retreat by taking 1 extra hit, meaning attackers go back to starting space. So if you will not do the D-Day major offensive landing, I can simply still go eliminate this, but the units that you send, they are weakened and they have to return to UK.
Ah,
And
interesting. Okay.
and Normandy is still mine, while we did the American Allied round for out of 16. So you still are not quite in continental Europe. So for this reason, you have to make a decision whether you go in with paratroopers or without, because once again, anything whenever you attack, all attacking units get 1 hit.
Right. Interesting.
But you can gain a foothold in a single round. And there is one more thing. Whenever
Uh-huh.
the allied unit will be eliminated from the game, the time limit drops one more. So for every eliminated allied unit, you lose one round out of 16.
So on the opening turn, we're going to go from 16 to 15. And if somehow an American unit was lost, it would drop to 14.
Uh, yes. It, it,
Okay.
it means it means basically that there must be some counterattack in Normandy for this to happen. But given the initial setup, it's difficult to make it happen.
Well,
You
fair point. I was just doing a what if, not expecting that Americans are going to take casualties on Normandy. But okay.
it's
So you
it's
want to
just
go ahead and dive into it then?
well there are more things to talk about,
Oh, sorry.
but
Sorry.
no, don't
I'm not
worry.
rushing you. Go ahead.
Don't worry. We can just go through the motions and see how this proceeds.
Can you heal?
You can. This is this resupply action. Allies flip all units in one space to full strength.
Got
So
it.
you will be weakening your units, but if I will not counterattack you, you usually
Oh,
flip those
interesting.
back.
Allies flip all units in one space. Germans may flip one unit total.
And I'm unfortunately, because you brought this up, I will mention that this Germans may flip one unit total is not clear to me. Context indicate that you flip one unit per side per action. But my nitpicking nature of nitpicking person may flip one unit total may indicate that Germans only flip one unit per whole game.
Um,
If I
no.
would be if I would be unkind to Germans.
Um, I'm going to say no on that because it is under the resupply. So whenever you do a resupply, you can flip one unit total. I think that's in the context of a resupply, not as an overall game.
I would exchange the total with per action,
Fair enough.
but that's me.
No, no, no. Clint's probably going to watch this and he's going to realize that you just hate his game and that you're just nitpicking it, which is fine.
I am nitpicking. I am not hating. I am nitpicking to the best of my ability.
Yes, no, that's what we do. That's what we do. But no, that's a good point. And sometimes just getting playtesters like us to point these things out or vocalize our confusion or misunderstandings help the designer in rewriting the rules to be clearer or more concise. So I don't think there's any issues with that. And Clint seems like a normal guy. I don't think he's going to be worried that we're having these conversations about his game. Okay, so anything else before we start, or are you ready to go?
I am ready to go. There will be some things that I would like to talk about, but once the game will be on, because once again, depending on the interpretation of the attack redeploy things,
Okay.
there are some things to talk about.
Okay. Well, so I have to remember that I have three of those. What were they called again? Let me bring up
Major offensives.
major offensives. So allies can declare three times per game. Germans once. It is an attack, but attackers' total strength is tripled. Okay.
And we do not have any markers right now with us to mark it. Normally I would be using probably another d6 because I have lots of those d6s.
Yeah. Do you can is that something I
You should be able to clone or bring new object, be it some tokens or something.
there I cloned two more. How
I
many
will
do you
just
want?
I will just it's fine. I will just place one on my side, on the German side, and officially allies have three, right?
Okay. Just
So we will be counting the pips.
oh
Oh,
whoa,
man.
whoa, whoa. Okay.
Oh, you are very kind. This is a game without dice. We do not need dice to resolve the mechanics of this game.
Not to begin with, but we may modify it. Not. Okay. Apparently, I have the copy command still active, and
Yep,
yeah, fair
that's
enough.
nice.
Can I just do this and delete? Probably.
You
Oh,
you can you can you can you can.
oh, look at there! It totaled it all up.
Yeah, it's one of the features of the tabletop simulator.
I learned something. Okay, that was very cool. That was very cool. Let me just check and see if there's any comments and keep up with people. Oh, Tolomachus is in the house. Hi, boss. How are you? as well as Stacking Limit. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. Okay, so we're about to start. And meandering Mike. And he's been on good behavior tonight. Thank you, Mike. Now that I said that, it's all going to go sideways.
You jinxed it,
Yeah.
maybe. In
Okay.
any case, when it comes to Normandy, you do not have to move paratroopers in for Saint-Mer, Église, and the other things.
How do you
But
not? It's Normandy.
but I would say pick as many units so those panzer units of Germans will not have an easy way with your weakened single unit.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that, that. I am going to drop my paratroopers, and we're going to allow the Brits to get in a little
Wh-
bit.
uh, Unfortunately, wait, because the attack action allows you to send 1 or 2 units plus a paratrooper.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So if you want to send the Brits, remove one of the either the American tank or the American infantry.
We'll just go with this. They can come in on the second wave.
Then the question becomes once again: do you declare this as a? Do you use up your major offensive
Yes,
for
I
this?
was going to.
Then flip to 2, the rotational value on the die, because this means that you still will win. But just like I observed at the very beginning, I could sacrifice the second step to force you back to UK. And this is not necessarily something that you wanted to experience. The unit goes away, it loses 2 steps because it was the major offensive and the Allied total was higher than the German total.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do is to keep you from sacrificing it by having you have to take the two that's losing it and me securing Normandy. Did that
But
work?
now you have to flip all your attacking units. All attacking units also take a hit. And because you brought a third unit in, your total value is 3. And
Mm-hmm.
if I will declare major offensive into Normandy with the Panzer tank, I will have 4, and I will kick you out of Normandy. But it is a question whether I will go for this or not.
Because you can only do it once a game.
Once per game, and you can have 3 D days.
Right.
So let's make it simple right now. And once again, let's not go with the counterattack. I will be just bringing the. So I will use my action.
Okay, Charles.
I will use the redeploy action. So move all units among controlled spaces.
Okay.
So all units among controlled spaces, I can do the shuffle. And everyone should remember by now that the stacking limit is 2 by space. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm fortifying the borders. And just because I can, I will just leave the unit in Germany will stay in Germany
Okay.
for now. So the 16th round is done. I'm clocking this down. There is 15 now
Okay.
left, and we are back to the allies. You have one action. You can, for example, flip back all the people in the Normandy, or if you want, you can redeploy, move all units among controlled spaces, because remember that stacking limit doesn't apply in UK and in Normandy for allies.
Right.
So if
So
you
either
really
way,
want,
it's going to give me a net same result. So I'm going to go ahead and do as such.
is this what you are doing?
Yep. If I lose, I
Okay.
lose. That's what I'm doing.
Then I will perform my long-standing dream of wargamer playing Germans in Normandy and kicking off the Americans back to the sea. Because now in my action, I can declare the major offensive into Normandy. Because
Yep.
what is going to happen? I'm spending this one. It's just going away.
Yeah.
I'm sending the 2 units from France. Their value is 1 and 2 makes it 3, but in the case of offensive, I triple this.
Right.
So
So
3
that's
times
9.
3, 3 times 3 means 9, and you have 4. So I win.
Yep. And these all go bye bye.
They do not go all bye bye.
Oh, no, they flip. That's right. Right.
Once again, it's what is written in the rules is losing side takes 1 hit or 2 hits if victor has tripled their strength. So it looks like you have 2 hits to assign. The rules are silent. How do we assign them? It's
Oh,
I
okay.
get it. I think that it's up to the owner, up to the player, how you want to split them. You have 2 hits to assign, and if you want to get a third hit and force me, uh, okay, maybe not in major offensive case.
Yeah, I'm not. So I'm going to go ahead and do one on each of the, well, one on the infantry, one on the airborne. So those are the 2 hits, and then everybody goes back home,
To
right?
UK, back to UK,
Okay.
over the channel. History, history smiles upon me, I suppose.
Yeah.
What
But
happens
that
is
was your battle of the bulge.
that was, and there will be no more. I am weakened, so right now I have 2 points, and both of those units are weakened, right? They may end up eliminated. But we finished the uh, 15th turn. So clocking down 14,
Yep.
and it's kind of back to you. You still can do the another D-Day landing. You can even not do D-Day landing and still kick me out of this space.
Hey, Hex. Hey, update for you, boss. When I was traveling up north, I ended up having to get some new front tires. I had a bubble on one of them. So that's why I didn't send off your package. I got paid today. Your package will get mailed this weekend. So sorry for delaying, my friend. I didn't forget you. I just ran into a financial situation. And people are just saying hey ho to each other in chat.
That's
Okay.
so nice.
It is. It's a great community. It's a great community. Okay, so you're down to 2. So I can do that. Oh, I thought that, and that. Now, if I bring them in, I'm going to lose them because they're already at
So
-1.
maybe you don't want to do this.
Well, let me just look because these guys can each take a hit, and I can bring 2 units.
And the paratrooper to their death. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to triple this, and this is going to be 12 to 2, so they're going to get wiped out.
So if this is
So I don't
triple,
even need to do that, do I?
well, once again the
Yeah, I
question
do.
becomes if it all boils down to the player's decisions, because if you do not declare the major offensive, I will suffer 1 hit, but I can decide to suffer a second hit and push you back to UK.
Yeah. Yeah,
When
we
you
don't want
when you
that.
when you do the major offensive, I lose. I cannot push you back, and I lose those both. You are in Normandy.
Yeah. And you've already used your.
Yep.
And then if I win this, do I move into France or no?
You move to Normandy in this single
Okay.
action.
Okay. Okay. And then you're going to move, but well, you can attack coming down, and I'm going to be at 1 and
Theoretically.
1, and you'll be enough to win. Okay. Okay. I'm starting to see where some of the resource management's coming into play in this design. It's
But
subtle, but it's
but
definitely there.
don't worry, very small. Very small.
Okay. So the question here, they're going to get pushed back. You're going to do one damage to me or to both of them, right? So, okay. Let me just check chat here real quick. I think I know what I'm going to do. No, my friend, I want to get it out to you. I want to get that off my to-do list. So, yeah. Yep, meandering Mike. I actually have enough funds for yours as well. So, those are going out. Yeah, tire prices are ridiculous. I just happened to be checking my air before because I was in the Bay Area before I drove back to San Diego, and I was getting gas. I go, oh, let me just check my air, and huge golf ball size bubble on the sidewall of the left front, and two tires, which I was able to get them done like within 2 hours, which was kind of nice. I didn't have to lose the travel day, but that set me back just over $400 because I didn't have the special wrench to take off the can't steal lug nuts, and so they charged me $25 a tire to take all four of them off on top of the cost of the tires. Yeah. Anyway, good point, Charles. Good point. And he says, Chuck just saw GHQ's future release for the coming year. And Mike says, yeah, I wouldn't if I hadn't to have to. Boo. I wouldn't if I didn't have to. Okay.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I was kind of had to because I had to get home. It wasn't like I can just park it for a month. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and do this. And so that's going to take those off. Can I drop my paratroopers now? No.
Not in the same action. Either they
No.
participated in the attack and they have to suffer the one
I
hit
know.
for all attackers.
Yeah.
But you do control Normandy.
Yes.
So
Temporarily.
it goes back to me. I will not play, the boring game of kicking out the allies out of the Normandy beaches again. I did it once. I am satisfied. I want to show you something else about this design again.
Okay.
So what I will do is redeploy, and once again, redeploy means move all units among controlled spaces,
Yeah.
and because we talked about this at the beginning, those spaces they are German controlled, so I can move freely, regardless whether they are in line of supply from Germany or not. I can just do this.
Yes.
Now, why would I do this? Well, because I want to point out that you can redeploy through the spaces that you control, but you have to attack into spaces that are adjacent, right? And this is my question to Clint, if he listens, if he will watch this later, because attacking, I mean, the way that it looks like all attacking units also take a hit. Do they take a hit if you move into non-controlled space and there is no defender whatsoever? Because
Oh,
if the answer is yes, then let's say that fresh allies go from Normandy into Belgium, but they have to flip themselves, and then I can slide them, well, right over them with the second wave sort of thing. I do not know the answer to this question, whether moving redeploy does not allow you to move into Belgium and France because it's Germany controlled, so you have to attack those spaces.
makes
But does it
sense.
but does it mean that you suffer losses because you move through non-friendly, non-controlled spaces? I have no idea.
Okay. How do you want to play it?
Well, so we can decide any one way or the other. It's fine. For me, the important thing is that I'm pointing this out.
Yes.
Because if this is so, if it is so, it is a reasonable tactic for the German player to simply push back, leave France, maybe even Belgium as well, and just counterattack, and maybe that's the point. For you, however, I will
But
just
why would
drop
you have even defended Normandy in that scenario?
to make you pay more. I mean, to make to wear down the allied units
Well, no, because I would have attacked and they all would have lost one, and then you could have come in and attacked them by
Yeah.
having some twos here and gone boom, boom, win, and yeah, done
But
your
I
big white play.
but I cannot do this. I cannot do this without an end, right? I can do this once, and
Yeah.
then I'm just biding my time for some potential counterattacks later without tripling the things. So we can do this hissy one way or the other. It's fine.
Um, I'll let you decide.
My boring nitpicky thing would say that moving into Belgium or France, I mean, it's part of the attacking action, and I do not see any sentence that if there are no defenders, there are no losses for the attacker. I see what stacking limit has written, and it makes sense. But once again, I I see I read only what I'm reading in the rules. I'm just missing this one
Yeah.
single
So
sentence
so
that
stacking limit says no attack is taking place, so no loss. That's my take on it as well. Except I know what you're going to say, so let me say it for you. The only way to move into that space is to attack.
yeah, precisely.
So an attack is taking place. There's just I'm attacking and there's nobody there. So do those losses account for combat losses as well as maybe fatigue and supply?
Or moving through uncontrolled territory and just
So
looking behind
that's
your
what I mean. They're
shoulder. Yeah.
moving, but here. So if I were to do this,
Under
then
my
they would
interpretation, you
then.
would lose both of those units. Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense unless the whole idea is that's exactly what he wants. Because you do have 16 turns, which my initial thought was, geez, that seems like a lot of turns. So what would happen is I would take a turn to regroup, like so.
You
Now, if
can
I push forward, I'm going to take again down to 1 and 1, and then regroup, push forward. So it basically, to move in full effect, it takes 2 turns, and in between those, I've suffered some weakness in combat strength, probably due to um, the coordination of supplies.
and it's one of those moments where it's just like in interpreting the poetry or literature, it's very difficult to come up with the answer what author intended. We can ask the author, we can send him a message, but honestly, I do not know by on my own. I cannot
So
say.
I have to ask Charles a question. Could you clarify fantasy critters? This is not some order off a Pornhub or something, is it, dude? I had to ask. I had
I
to
will
ask.
just hide my face. Mm.
Okay, so you know what? Listening to Clint talk about his design philosophy, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but based on the fact that there were 16 turns, I'm going to go ahead and spend time to reinforce myself before I move forward.
Okay,
If that kind of makes sense to me.
one alternative thing that you could have done is just basically because now you control Normandy and UK, you
Yeah.
can you can redeploy everything that you have into Normandy without reinforcing those victorious
Oh,
tanks.
is there any stacking limit here in Normandy?
Once again, if we look at the stacking rules, allies ignore stacking in UK and Normandy. It's unlimited stacking. And
Okay.
the reason why you are safe is that first, I do not have any forces adjacent, so I cannot attack you in one single round.
So that actually makes sense.
And later on, if you like your paratroopers so much, you can strengthen them along with the tanks because they will be all in a single space, right?
Exactly. Okay, so that's going to be my move.
So the German thing is once again one German action. Once again where common sense fails me, there seems to not be a choice of I cannot pass. I have to do attack, resupply, or redeploy. Those are my
Well, could
choices.
you not redeploy and just not move anybody? Or you could just move one and effectively redeploy and pass.
Well, I guess yes, but once again, the postcard size does not bring all the answers for the
Well, no,
inquisitive
no,
mind.
no. I mean, if you just switch these two,
Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
redeploying, but effectively you've passed.
One thing that I will just point out to this because I think that this is intentional. What Hisi says, it looks like I can do this, no problem. One goes in, one goes out. But stacking limit in this game applies at any one time. So, for example, I cannot do this and move the tank away, and this is a feature of this design. In any case, I don't want to move toward you, so I will just do something that doesn't change the thing at all, and just tell
So even though he doesn't say stacking limit, let me just throw something out there. I could do that, 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 that.
yeah. As and this will be important for the German or Allied player when there will be more of their units covering the entire map, because suddenly you can do the redeploy between all the controlled spaces, but if
Yeah.
the stacking limit is always 2 units per space plus maybe paratroopers, then you may find yourself constrained a little bit.
Okay. We didn't knock this down to 12.
Do it yourself. And because
Wow.
I was so busy talking that I just
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
done it yet.
You know what? That's the first time I've heard you speak to me with attitude. Do it yourself.
It's also how you tell apart the Polish people speaking English, because the way that we phrase our wishes and requests in our native language, it's we do not use the please in the same way that English speaking people do.
Well, I know some English speaking people that don't even know what that word means.
I'm sorry, however, it's I didn't mean anything forceful. It just
I know, no, dude.
it,
I'm
it,
just giving you a hard time. Giving
it
you a hard time.
certainly comes across a little
No,
more.
no, don't worry about it.
Anyway, once again, 12 turn out of
Yep.
16, you can for example attack into Belgium or
No, no.
France,
I moved. You moved. That's 12. So what I'm going to do is,
flip back all those units.
um, actually, not yet. I'm going to move the deuce. I kind of want to. Ooh, yeah.
Go
Okay. Decision here.
going boldly where no allied units went before.
There. Okay. That's my
Until
turn.
and once again the Germans do once again something that is inconclusive, really.
Okay. Now I'm going to do that.
And this is exactly the spot where this interpretation of the attack action uh, changes the game depending on our interpretation. Because if I have some units remaining in the second the rear, I could use this to counterattack, and maybe this is exactly what this German major offensive is for.
Yeah, he said it was to kind of simulate the Battle of the Bulge.
But in this case, what I would need to have is at least one tank in the position, or maybe 2 infantry units tripled would be 6 against 3. I would win. With one infantry unit, even tripled, it's not a win. And coincidentally, uh, the rules of the attack do not tell us anything how to allocate the. Are there any hits when there is a tie? Losing side takes a hit. Defenders may cancel the retreat if they are kicked out, but I don't know what happens when there is a tie. Possibly nothing.
I would assume that
Maybe
there's going to be at least one loss.
maybe attacking units take a hit, but once again the definition of the attack doesn't isn't explicit about ties.
So here's how I would play it. Let's say you did that. Okay. You're going to lose. So you're going to take one hit and have to back up. And I'm going to have to take one hit. And that would be 1 to 3. But if it was 3 to 3, I would say that we have to take at least, I would have to take at least one hit, and you would have to take 3 hits. Or 3 units would have to take a hit. But you can't attack with 3 because you have a stacking limit of 2.
It's only really if I have prepared infantry there with a tank and I attack as a stack, or I use the major
Oh, right.
offensive
Okay.
once per time. But so it's not the case right now. It's just that once again I'm pointing out to all the little bits of the rules that I find less explicit than I would like to.
No, perfect. Do you see what Meandering Mike says?
Well, I will not crack anything. I will be just offering nitpicky comments and remarks in a strong and forceful attitude.
Fair enough. Okay. So that's we're on turn 11. So you're gonna just do your little pass.
Actually, I will just redeploy the second infantry unit here.
Okay.
Just keep them straight. It's like right now wrong values. It
No,
should be in
no, it's
order.
11 down to 10.
Ah, yeah.
That's why I did that.
I guess
Wait.
that uh, correct then. Maybe I should have created the D20 die for this module instead of
Yeah, but
the.
no, we got it. We're down to 10.
Okay.
It works.
And as always, you start first.
Yeah.
So redeploy, resupply. People in a straight line to UK.
There we go.
Okay. If that's the case, I'm doing once again. I guess if I will, can they, can I be, can I redeploy in such a fashion that they stay in the same space?
Do what you
Possibly
want to
so.
do.
In any case, I'm not doing anything else, so 9 turns remain. If I would have more units, I could be fancy, but I am not.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Oh boy. Hmm. So let's try a different approach, redeploying in such a fashion. And this is my round, so we are down to the 8.
Yes. Okay. I still have one more triple.
Yep. Now be careful about this.
I know I'll lose them.
No, it's not about this. Your paratroopers are in Normandy, right? And the attack action means about bringing units from adjacent space, or rather, send 1 2 units plus paratrooper unit if desired into an adjacent space. Your paratrooper is 2 spaces away from your attack space.
Um,
So I do not
oh,
know if
okay.
it.
So let me give you a argument here. I'm in France. This is an adjacent space to France. I'm attacking from France. I can move from an adjacent space into because I'm still technically in France. Am I stretching the rules a bit?
My argument is just to read out the sentence because once again,
Okay.
it's the postcard format, so I know that not everything may be explicit, but all that I have is send 1 2 units plus paratrooper unit if desired into an adjacent space. To be fair with you, Hisi, nothing is said about paratroopers needing to begin in an adjacent space.
Interesting.
So,
Okay.
so theoretically, from Normandy to Rhine, I mean, it would not be impossible, but does it mean that paratroopers can be added to any attack in on the map? Once again, the rules are not anywhere on the map. Rules are not explicit.
Okay. Important question, meandering Mike. Are you talking about Richard's voice?
Who knows?
Stop being weird. That's what we love about Mike. Don't stop. And Walkabout Games is in the house. Let me get caught up with some of these comments here real quick. Friday night is meant for misbehaving. Yeah. Stacking Limit says only when drunk. Mike says I don't drink, so let loose through silly humor. There you go. Hey, Walkabout. He says hi, Mike. I don't drink either, and I'm assuming alcohol, not water. I know, stupid. Except bourbon. That's their own. Oh, bourbon. I'm a Scotch drinker, which is I guess a style of bourbon, or is bourbon and Scotch different? Interesting idea or thought. I don't. In fact, I do have an IPA in the fridge. I was going to snag one, but we're not there yet. Okay, so um, he says different. That's what I thought. Although they're pretty close, right? But yeah, I'm a Scotch drinker. Of course, I not that I wouldn't drink bourbon. Now I'm completely sidetracked because now I want one. Okay, so you're saying this is legal or not legal? What was your
It's
take?
it's not it's not explicit, but I was always assuming that attack you are using the units from the adjacent space to move into adjacent space. And if it so happens that you have paratroopers there, you can add them into the move into adjacent space.
So I could move them here, but I couldn't attack.
Yeah.
And then next turn I could attack with them.
Which
Okay.
once again yes for the Allied victory. But
Well, how
yeah,
about this? Why don't we do this? Why don't we redeploy like so, like so? Okay.
and just to be clear, the American paratroopers are not in Belgium, they are in France. Because
Yes.
you moved them a little too close to the space and I was just worried.
Fair point. Fair point.
Anyway, if this
Now,
is the
so,
case,
but okay, you do bring up, let's say I was here. I could attack with all three of these anyway to here because they're within an adjacent space, right?
and once again, unfortunately, postcard format isn't explicit. It's just send 1 2 units into an adjacent space. It's not
Okay.
said that you cannot move units from two adjacent spaces into one
Then I
destination.
would say in that case, I could definitely attack with all three of these units. But they're here because I don't want to leave them by themselves. But the reason I bring that up is if I do that, you might want to attack them.
Because you are exposed and I can just send a tank. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then you know what I do? I retreat to here. Anyway, that's just
So
it brings up more ideas.
if you went for redeploy, you can only redeploy between three spaces: UK, Normandy, and France. So paratroopers can join the tanks in France if you want, or stay in Normandy.
Okay. Bourbon is American only, and Scotch is Scottish only. Okay. And well, bourbon comes from Kentucky in the Bourbon County or something like that. I mean, if you want to get technical, still all wiki whiskey. Yeah. Okay. He's been drinking already. So if I consume alcohol, it's about 5 to 6 times a year, and it's Mike's Hard Lemonade. How funny! His namesake. Oh, I didn't need to click that. I thought that was somebody else. Never mind, guys. I think everybody here is already subscribed, and I thank you for that, by the way. Okay,
So
so
he's
I'm going to go ahead and just move them up at this point, and that's going to be my turn.
to France, not to Belgium.
Yes, yes, to France. There.
I will redeploy the tanks into Belgium just to set you up for a little bit of delay, if you will, depending on what you will do.
This is
So,
interesting.
so we are down one more turn. It's 7 now, and
Yeah,
you still have one action to choose.
yeah. Okay, so we're going to do that. And that.
Is this major offensive?
Mm, actually, yes. Let's wipe out that unit.
Really? Okay. So it is 2 hits because you tripled your strength. Normally it would be one, and either the retreat or kicking you out of the Belgium. Congratulations. The vaunted German tanks are no more in this theater.
No, they are not. Okay.
Uh, so when it comes to what I can do now, my options are limited, but once again, it kind of depends whether you would like to play safe or kind of risk it. So I'm just redeploying, and we are down to the turn number 6, or 6
Okay.
more turns to go.
So Tom Mike says no. It's just a lot of bourbon is made in Kentucky. I think there is a county that's called Bourbon, but I could be totally wrong. What do I know? Nothing. Is he trying to win by question or?
Actually,
Yeah.
we are talking about interpretation of those rules, and it's not easy, really, to
Good to see
decide.
you, Eric. Thanks for stopping by, bud. Okay. So half strength, half strength. I got a bunch of dudes here. So what do I want to do? I think I am going to. Well, I'm going to do that for my turn.
Mhm. And now you will see that because I lost all the units and I do not have those more powerful ones, I cannot really do anything as long as you keep those stacks uh, more powerful than one. So I'm just taking away the 5 turns to go over to you.
Okay. And if I win 3-1, you take 2 hits, right?
It's not like this. I losing sight always takes 1 hit, but 2 hits if you use your major. Or okay, once again, it's written if Victor has tripled their strength, so 3-1, 2 hits, yeah, 3-1 or more. So those 2 tanks looks like they just overrun the infantry.
That was my question. If I just go here, Do you take one or two hits?
The rules say losing side takes one hit or two hits if victor has tripled their strength. You have fought to one, so you effectively tripled your strength. Two
Yeah.
hits going away. And right now, I guess that the best that I can do is go here, but mind you, when you flip the die, this is important thing, the consequence of those occupied spaces. If those are German controlled spaces, you cannot do anything with those tanks because they are out of supply.
Right. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to do that. Then you're going to do nothing.
You can, if you want, you can even bring one more unit, one unit more into this stack from Normandy. I know that in this particular case it doesn't matter because I cannot effectively hurt you, but I just bring this point once again to remind everyone that if this is attack, I still feel like it maybe means that they are flipped, they are weakened.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. So we're down to three turns. Not much you can do.
And I'm staying in Germany.
I'm going to do that. We're going to go down to two turns, right?
So liberate Germany next.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what I want to by the victory conditions, Germany is occupied by the Allied units, and once again, it doesn't matter whether they are in supply or not. Right now, for example, those victorious tanks weakened, they are
Yeah.
not in supply, but victory take control of the Germany space to win.
Well, I still have one turn to do that.
Yeah, but once again, the victory conditions, the way that they are written, it doesn't really matter. Even if you do this in the last turn of the game, it still fulfills the condition as spelled out.
Agreed.
So what I want to use this opportunity to say that in my experience, it is possible to counterattack in Normandy in this game and kick you out of the beaches into the sea, but doing so, I am just losing too many units.
Yeah. Let me
And
turn my lights on. I didn't realize all of a sudden I feel like I'm being creepy here. Give me 1 second.
oh, I believe that in the chat there was a comment about not stopping being weird, so we can be as weird as we can, as we want.
Okay, I grabbed an adult beverage. Okay, so let me just get caught up here real quick on the comments. Yeah, tell Mike is. I thought it was a county. I wasn't 100% sure. Although both my parents grew up in Kentucky, and my grandfather was a coal miner. I'm out of major. Yep, I was. Eric says, I feel he needs to leave one of his units behind or else he's out of supply. I would have been, but I just moved a unit up. Oops, I'm behind here. No, you're all good, boss. You're all good. Okay, so you told me the beginning of the night you had about an hour and a half. We're an hour and roughly 10 minutes in.
Which leaves me a half an hour from now.
So you want to play another?
We can, because you can experience the German side just as well.
Perfect.
Besides we discussed them all, so by now you kind of know what is here and what we can ask Clint the next time that we'll have. Besides that, I still believe that this is an interesting game because it does boil down to the decisions of both players. It's not like German player doesn't have things to choose between.
Right. Okay, well, let's go ahead and reset. I can take the Germans this time. See what I can
So
do. Now, do I have to deploy them in all of those? Is that the deployment? I have one unit in
set,
each of those.
setup in setup, Germans may place their unit anywhere outside the UK, but max one per space. and because
Oh,
it's
max
one per,
one per space.
and,
Oh,
and,
so
and you have 6 units, I take it that it means basically one per space.
let me just read the rules here. Where overview.
Hmm.
Okay, we're set up. Okay, it says units map setup. The Germans may place their units anywhere outside the UK.
All the gray spaces on the map.
It says may place, which means I don't have to place all of them on the map.
But because max one per space, you will run out of the spaces if you want to combine them.
No,
Here,
no. I
this
don't
is
have
the
to.
rub.
I don't. It seems like I don't have to put all my units on the board.
So where, so does it mean that they are not playing in this game because there are no rules of bringing explicit? I mean,
No, I see
if
what you're
you
saying.
redeploy is move all units among controlled spaces, does it mean that you redeploy from Eastern Front? Maybe it is exactly that.
Well, redeploy, but if they're not on the board, a good question, right?
I've I understood this that it means that all spaces must be covered by one German unit.
It doesn't say that though.
It's not explicit, no.
No, it
It's
says
it's
may.
it's just as abbreviated as the title of the game, ETO.
Yeah. Well, again, whenever I see may, it says the Germans may place their units anywhere
Yeah.
outside the UK, maximum one
Yeah.
per space, which means I don't have to place any units.
And same with the turns and the actions. It is written that players may choose between the attack, major offensive, resupply, redeploy. So theoretically, it can be understood that you can even pass, do nothing, if you desire to do so. But I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
think passing would be a legitimate thing. So if that one, I would just say yes, you could just pass. I know it's not in the rules, and that we're play testing, so we don't hand wave it. But it does not. Let me just read the redeploy or resupply. No, move all units among controlled spaces. Well, if I'm not in a controlled space and I haven't allocated them, how could I move
Yeah.
them amongst controlled spaces? Fair point. Okay, Clint, you can see we got a few questions here because it doesn't say I have to put one in each location. It says I may outside the UK and I can only have no more than one.
Looks like it.
Because what I would do is I would hold, where are these coming from? Okay.
Well, Eastern Front coming
Well,
from the other
they
side.
haven't been recruited yet. You see the leg kick she does when she walks by? You see that little leg kick?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not looking at your camera.
Oh,
I'm paying attention to the comments, but other than that, the tabletop simulator covers the
what
window.
did Eric say here? Fair enough. No reinforcement rules. Yeah. It says may be referring to anywhere, not whether or not, not whether to place or not. Yeah, but there's only six spaces. And so it doesn't say place one in each location, which would have been an easier, shorter way to say the rules, as opposed to may place anywhere outside the UK, maximum one stacking. That just seems like a lot of words to easily just say place one in each map location, which may be what he meant to do.
True, meandering Mike about
Well,
garrisoning those areas, but also if we will understand that attack action into the empty area means that you have to flip the attacking units, then theoretically German can wait deep inland for the allies to come. And yeah.
and what if okay, so what if I do something like this and you get here? Could I go da da da?
Well, if
Well, no, I
yeah,
could this way, but yeah,
yeah, theoretically, yes, you can. Because when you take a look at the connections, there are basically two major roads going to the Germany, right?
yeah.
And if I will go proceed along the one of them, the northern or southern, theoretically your units on the other branch can simply cut off my my advance, and they are out of supply and they cannot move anymore. So what you said, yeah, is valid.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, the thing
sorry.
is, you're going to bring a big force in on Normandy, and it's almost like I just got to concede that.
Stacking limit brings a good point. Picking of needs is severe for a postcard game. Yes, I'm sorry, I am not being paid for this, and yet I choose to spend my time like this. Yes, this is exactly the person that I am.
Well, so stacking limit, we are trying to play test it, and so this is hopefully useful feedback for Clint and anybody else designing a game to see what type of questions that we get and the way the words in the rule book are. So we're doing it out of love. It's not
It's not
about being right or finding problems per
it,
se.
it it's not malice either. I want
No,
to I
not at all.
want to point out that I am non-English native speaker, and reading the rules as it is, when I was playing by myself, it was easy for me to just come up with my own interpretation.
Yeah,
I But this game is a to play a game, and I just do not. I know some fellow war gamers are. I have had discussions about rules interpretations before.
yeah,
So because of this, I like explicit cla the rules with clarity. Yes,
yeah. This is not tournament play.
it's
No,
not.
I. You know what? I'm liking. I can see that this could be expanded. I like the fact that there are no dice rolls. The
Mhm.
way he described his design philosophy, you can really sense it here. And after what I had done, now I'm curious to see if I can defend. So since we don't know about reinforcements and it's not there, let's assume I'm going to deploy the same way you did, at least one unit in each location. Let's start with that, and then it's your turn. You can go.
You certainly placed your tanks differently than I did. I will go with the Normandy opening, but for some reason I am not using any paratroopers. I'm saving my
That's
paratroopers. So
historically inaccurate, but you
it
do you.
is. It is. It's D-Day landing with duplex drives only. I am using the tanks, 2 units. I am using the major offensive. So
Yes.
this is actually 4 times 3, 12 against your one. This will be 2 hits against you.
Okay. Did we not learn anything last turn?
Well, I'm looking at your position right now. Your
What I mean is,
tanks
I
are
don't think you needed to use your major offensive to get the same effect.
uh, maybe, but I also wanted to make sure. Well, of course, yeah. Theoretically, it looks like if this is tripled, can you take one extra hit, the third one, to kick me out of Normandy? Because
No, I don't have a third hit. I only have two.
because it looks like that if the German player puts the infantry unit in the Normandy, I do not have to do the major offensive.
Exactly. If we're playing it correct, that was my point. So that's I gave you
Yeah.
back your major offensive.
I flipped the tanks, and this is the first action for the allies.
Okay,
If
so
before you will flip the die, do
yeah.
your one of your actions, and then we will flip. Then we'll finish the first round.
I have to think this through. Let's do that.
hmm So redeploy. In other words, the die goes down to 5. Are you adjusting? Okay.
Yep, I did.
And I am just bringing everyone to United Kingdom. So 4 American. in
Okay.
paratroopers, paradrop, and British
Fine.
tanks, Churchills.
I'm just going to pass.
Hmm. Mm, 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 mm. Pu, 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 pu. Mm. Then one way about it would be, let's try attacking France, but with a gusto. I'm sending Brits because there must be some Polish soldiers in this army. I am not sending the paratroopers. So once again, this is a major offensive into France.
Okay. Can
Nine,
I use mine, or I can only use it when it's a major offensive. So no, I can't. Okay.
only in your action.
Yeah.
So right now it's not yours. This
No.
means that if I tripled over you, and I did, 3 times over is 3 times higher than 3.
Hold on one second.
So
No, no problem. Stacking limit. We didn't think you did.
UK no stacking limits. Normandy for allies no stacking limits.
I'm not mean to you. I just pick on you like a younger brother, like if you were my younger brother. Hey, Warmut. Oh, thank you, and I appreciate that. Oh, nachos. Nachos sound good. I'm just getting caught up with some of these. There we go. Much love. Much love in the chat. There we go. Okay, so you're at 6. I'm at 3, so that's only double, not triple. No, you're at 9.
Major offensive is tripled.
So I take 2.
Yeah, and you can, once again, it's up to you how to resolve this, but you will have to retreat to adjacent controlled spaces or space.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
And now it's your action.
Yeah. So you're going to take 1 unless I
Use the
use my.
major offensive.
I'm not going to use my major offensive just yet.
Very well. One British unit less. So I'm dropping the tank goes back to Normandy. And because I lost 1 unit, I lose 2 rounds. So 1 round because it's the end of the round.
Yep.
Second round because I eliminated allied unit.
Yeah. I think
And
we
right,
forgot to do that when I was playing.
well, the thing is, in our first game, you never lost a single allied unit. You
That's
suffered
because
some losses.
I care for my men more than you do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am not you, Hissy. I am just not you. I will resupply the units in Normandy, so suddenly they are all strong and fresh. Now, mind you, no, 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 not like this. If you want to do the resupply, Germans may flip 1 unit total. You had 2 weakened, so you can, and also you cannot resupply and redeploy in the
No, no,
same.
I'm just doing that. That's all I'm doing.
I'm nitpicking even now. I'm nitpicking even now.
No, 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 that's not nitpicking. You're just getting it right. So that's all I did. Okay, we're down to 11.
So, well, I guess we are getting back into France, really. But this time, paratroopers are doing the market garden on the suburbs of Paris,
Okay.
I guess. So I'm not using the major offensive here. Just
Ah,
it's just my 5 versus your 3. So you suffer one loss, and if you want, you can push me out of France by suffering a second loss. So I flip, and it's over to your one round.
so we're
Do not flip. We flip the round marker after your round. So it's 10 now.
okay.
And the easiest answer would be spend one action on resupplying the friends just to protect my vital interest, not to lose those units. Your round, your
Okay.
one action. It's
Okay.
like you are afraid of something.
Oh, wait. I'm not afraid of nothing, man.
Good. You should not be. It's a friendly postcard game. Oh.
No, I'm not afraid of nothing.
In any case, I am attacking into Belgium. I am sending the tank and the infantry.
Thank you.
1 point of advantage. It's not major offensive. So you will suffer one loss, and then you decide whether to
I'm about to.
bless
Sorry.
you.
Go ahead and take
Do,
your losses.
do you want to hold your ground?
I want to just eyeball this. Do I want to push them back or leave them? I'm going to do that. I set a trap on purpose.
I know, but once again, this is the feature of this game. So regardless which side you are playing, there's lot of things that both sides can do, really.
Yeah. Okay. Do I want to sacrifice? That's the question.
You know the answer to this question.
No, I'm going to eliminate both of these, and you're going to lose 3 turns this attack. So it's going to go from 9 down to 6. The question is, do I sacrifice these guys? Use my Battle of the Bulge to give me exactly 3 to 1. I'm going to lose both of them, but you're going to lose both of yours. That just cleans everything here, and it leaves my armor units full. Or do I use one armor unit, Battle of the Bulge, that still gives me enough to wipe these guys, and I still have an armor unit that's minimal strength, but then you can move up there to take them out next turn. So that's really the question. I think I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to spin that. I'm going to eliminate those two.
Yeah,
I'm
dropping
going
the
to do
turn
this.
limit by 2 right now, and at the end of your round, we just drop it down to 1.
Yeah, we'll do that. And
6. Yep.
okay. So, yeah, that's my move.
So with this, I will just move. I am trying to hunt tigers. I'm hunting wabbits in Belgium with 2 Americans against your 1 Panzer. I win, but I weaken myself.
Richard is the middle child. That's why I'm nicer to him.
Now Now the secret is out.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. Famous last words. This is just a friendly postcard game. Boom. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, you know me. I don't care win or lose. It's about playing the game.
And besides, I hope that also the audience sees that in this design, it's really choice. Both we both have choices at every round, really, and
Yeah.
it's jam packed into a single postcard.
So we're down to 6.
You have your round, and after you do your round, we'll be down to 5.
Yeah. So what did we decide on a tie? I'm going to lose if I bring these two down. You're going to lose one. I'm going to lose two, and 5 is going to drop to 3 turns.
One way that is very simple, but once again, it's a literalist approach to the rules, and I just do not know if everyone agrees with this kind of looking at it. The losing side takes one hit or two hits if 3 times over, but all attacking units also take a hit. So in a way, one way to put it is, in a case of tie, all attacking units take a hit.
Yeah, and so would a defending unit would probably take 1 hit.
Well, if there is no loss, then there is no losing side. There is only attacker that loses a hit. But once again, I do not have any more to say on this topic, and it's not conclusive. The rules,
Do you see my point? But it
yeah,
sounds like it would be the same. A tie is the same. So if I were to do this, I would lose both of these units. The idea would be I'm trying to eliminate one of yours.
it's a tie. I am not losing. So if you can, Mike asks about the rules again, real quick. Can you move your camera, Hisi, towards the
Yeah.
rules?
Let me see what he said. Sure, Mike. Hold on.
Because maybe
Yeah, all attacking units take a hit. It doesn't say whether you win or you lose. You just take a hit.
and the losses for the uh losing side takes one hit or two hits if victor has tripled their strength.
Yeah, and it doesn't
So
say anything about a tie. Okay.
what you say, Hisi, it makes sense for the German to sacrifice their units if it means that you shorten my rounds. But the
Right.
rule,
I take these two. I'm just trying to get rid of one of your units. Now, that doesn't mean I can't do this.
and then it's as easy as it is. You will eliminate one of them because you have 3 against 2. If you
Yeah, and
want to do this,
I can't get triple. I could go 4 against 2, but yeah.
the chat in the meantime, Eric says defender wins ties, and so meandering Mike says as well. Uh, so I guess that's the
Is that what it says? Defender wins ties?
defender wins ties. The side with lower strength loses, defender wins ties.
Where does it say that? Am I missing it?
If you go into the middle of the attack, add up the second sentence, add up total strength of all units,
Oh,
side with
defender
lower
wins
strength
ties. Okay.
loses. Yeah.
Okay.
So ties are explicit, in other words.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. I don't know how we both missed that. Okay, so I'm going to need at least 3. It doesn't hurt to have 4. I can move them however I want to move them. I'm going to take 1 hit. Yeah, so let's do.
Just be careful. 1 or 2 units, not three. You do not
Oh,
have
that's right. That's right. Sorry, sorry, sorry.
Your paratroopers are infantry units.
Sorry,
In any
sorry.
case, what it amounts to, I am losing one, so the American goes away. The second returns to Normandy, so I drop the round marker is 5. Flip your guys,
Yeah.
and does it mean that have you sent the weakened infantry unit into this combat? No, it was fresh.
No, it
Or
was weakened, but the armor was fresh, so I took the hit on the armor.
it's just that all attacking units also take a hit.
Oh, the duh. Sorry,
Yeah. No,
you're
it's
right.
fine. In any case, I have right now the turn is over, so I'm left with 4. Can I make it into Germany in 4, in other words? Well, there is sort of a way for this, and one way is just crush Panzer Army. I am
Ah,
attack.
yes.
I am attacking without major offensive. It's 4-1. It's
Ah,
just blowout.
okay, then I'm going to move here. So we're down to 3.
Yep. I I'm just looking at my units and where they are. Mm, friendly redeployment. So basically moving 2 infantry units into the France. And I just don't feel like moving anything else. This is where it gets interesting because once again, if I am attacking into the Rhine, we talked about this with the audience, whether I weaken myself or not. I'm just moving the 2 units with paratroopers, and depending on the interpretation, either I flip them or not.
Oh, we
But
played it that you flipped them.
in any case, this is the move that I'm making.
Okay. And I'm going to pass.
So for me, if those units are weakened when they are attacking, and it seems like they are, I can attack you. I can kick you out of Germany, but
Yeah.
I will just run. I will kick you out of the Germany, and there will be nothing in Germany.
No. Okay, go ahead.
Because what I can do really in this last
Well,
Hail
you've
Mary,
already lost this game.
I know. If I will go like this, I can declare the major offensive. So theoretically, I can kick you out of Germany, but I will not fulfill the conditions. If this will go away, two
That goes
hit,
away.
voice goes away. Not only Germany is not occupied, but the turn marker
It's
one
minus.
is -2, I think. Well,
Yes.
-3 actually, kind of at
Yeah,
the
it's
end of
minus
your round.
3. But here's the thing: these are still considered occupied by Germany, and I
Yeah,
still occupy Germany.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I do not have anything that
Well,
is
so no,
mine
let's
that
go back. We
remain.
had what, 3 turns? Had you done this, moved to 2, and then attacked with 1,
It
you would have won by that situation.
it's just that the losses that you inflicted on me made this impossible. Rhine was also not friendly controlled,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
and I can redeploy, but I cannot attack at the same round. So this is the curious, peculiar cleverness of this design.
Yeah, because I think
That
otherwise, how else would I win?
you have 16 rounds. It feels like it's enough, but no, it's a tightrope.
Thank you again, guys, for spotting that. Yeah, it very much is because I'm wondering if I used my Battle of the Bulge play too soon, but it seems to have worked.
It was just enough.
I think so.
So this is what I like about this game. It's not obvious from the get-go, but if the German player can use their tanks in the right moment and maybe not put it into Normandy, Normandy seems like it's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
mean, keep in mind, like again, this is a postcard game. He did this fairly quickly, and we're
oh,
playtesting it. So, Mike, what I was thinking, um, again, listening to Clint talk about his design philosophy, I think that because you can resupply and get back to normal strength, that you're not actually taking a loss. You're just combat strength because you've extended your movement and you've expended supplies has gone down, and you just wait a turn and you can get back to full strength. And so it's a timing issue, not an actual loss. And so in this particular case, Richard pushed his units. He had to go from France all the way into Germany on the supplies that he had. Yes, he was able to make a big push. Yes, he was able to push me out of Germany, but at the expense of his units being ineffective any longer. So, again, based on the conversation we had with Clint, I think that's what his intent was by having that. And again, we're speculating a little bit, and hopefully he'll see this video and respond and clarify some of these points. But I think that works because otherwise, I don't see how Germany ever wins a game, quite honestly, other than tweaking the number of turns to be less.
and if anyone watches us
Okay, that's a
and
good point.
wonders,
Lose one step, not every unit loses a step. Okay, I can see that.
this is what Mike just said. It's just an argument to everyone that watches this video right now. You can set this game yourself and see how it will go.
Hmm.
And honestly, I encourage you to do so, because even if we keep asking and discussing those, I don't know, ambiguities in the rules that I'm trying to find and bring up, this is still an interesting design,
Oh, totally.
simple but not simplistic, and tense enough to give both sides interesting
So
choices
here's a
to
thought,
make.
Clint. If you're watching this, maybe roll a dice on an empty.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm
maybe,
kidding. I'm kidding. No,
maybe.
I like it, and I can see how there. I've already got ideas how I could take this as a core set of rules and add some cards that maybe have some unit specific abilities or something along those lines.
Mm,
Because I like the fact of having the counter to now. I think maybe three is a bit strong for the Americans,
mm.
and this is just my gut based on the two games that we played. It took everything I had and maybe a little bit. And we'd have to play this a few more times for what I'm going to say to be validated. But I'm not sure that I could repeat that once the Americans. I think this. It. Let me start again. I think that this is a puzzle that can be solved with um, a repeatable outcome. Now, I need to play it 15, 20 times to see if that's the case, but that's what my gut tells me based on the parameters of what we've played.
Maybe, but you can also exchange the players, as in, not always play against the same opponent, because it's possible that if you keep playing with the same person, they will improve their choices, uh, and that's fine, and that's
Well,
fine.
okay, so that's true with tic tac toe, right? If everybody
Mm,
knows the outcome, nobody ever wins it. But if you play somebody who doesn't know how, somebody can win. What I'm getting at is, and again, I need to play this a lot more, but it might have a predictable outcome. And it's hard to say. And again, we're dealing
The
with a small footprint of a game. I had a lot of fun. There were some really, I mean, I had to think of how I wanted to allocate my forces, not knowing if there is a solution and not knowing it. And here's the other comment I'll make. It is a postcard game. If you play this 15 times and you figure it out, that's fine. There's plenty of other games to play. You got 15 plays out of this game. That's to me more than its value, right? You get your money out of it. And there's nothing wrong with solving a game if that's even possible. I haven't played enough to do that. So I like it. I'm going to say I like the system. I like the kind of the idea. I had enough decisions. I had to think about how I wanted to move my forces, when I wanted to commit with my one major attack. So for me, it's two thumbs up. I like it a lot.
I will allow myself a speculation whether the what Clint mentioned, a second world war playable in 1 hour, whether it's at least relatively similar to what we did tonight.
He sent me a copy, and if I could have put it up on, and maybe what I'll do is I'll take what he sent me and try to put it into Tabletop Simulator, and maybe in a week or two we can play it for him and see how that plays.
Or try out Vassal. Who knows?
Or Vassal. I'm not against Vassal.
Mm.
Yeah, Stacking Limit. I think it was interesting to see the choices that you get and not knowing what the outcomes would be. Um, and it may be that it's so finely balanced, which is possible, that it looks like it can be a solvable problem, and it may not be.
Well, for me, what defends the replayability here is basically the decision for the players when exactly to use their major offensives, because it's never obvious. Maybe Normandy is obvious, moving into Normandy, but
Yeah,
later on, and German will always, if German, this is, so I played this game with myself, so I do not know if it will speak true for everyone else experience, but the longer German player retains this major offensive capability, he keeps the allied player in Normandy. And for me it's
well,
just
you kicked me out of Normandy.
true,
I had to like invade twice.
which is an achievement for me, yes.
Well,
Second D-Day.
again, I'm going to reiterate what we said before. I think that the quality of games that we've gotten in this postcard jam, the postcards from the front, have been phenomenal so far. There has not been one that I've looked at and went, "That's broken" or "That's not fun." Um, Other than maybe mine. I don't know if we. I don't think we've played mine yet. Not here. So we may have to do that at some point. I want to get some of your guys' feedback. But I'm going to say I like the system. I like the fact that you do need to think a little bit. Um, and other than I agree with you, Richard, that maybe Normandy is pretty much a spend one of your major offenses and make sure you land on the beach. Um, and that's why I put just one there. I kind of gave it up, knowing that I wasn't going to really battle you for that spot.
Well, yeah, but it is once again this peculiar
Oh, there's an
phrasing that
interesting idea that you have to use one. I
mm,
would almost in our conversation, he had said that there was Normandy, Market Garden, and what was it? The push up through Italy, through the coast or from the peninsula. Was that
well,
the third one that was supposed to represent?
yes, but if you put it into the rules that you have three, but you have to use one in your first initial move, it's like scripting the game. It makes the most sense, but player has always a choice to not do this if he decides not to do this, and I prefer not to be forced, because otherwise let me just have two major offensives instead of three and take one away from my hand right away in the first move.
Yeah. What I would do if this was my game is I would play and maybe he's already done this. Okay, so I'm not criticizing at all. I'm just talking out loud. Um, yeah, that's a big deal. That's actually a big deal. And maybe they could have it in the UK, but not in Normandy. Um, but Oh, I lost my train of thought. I was reading what Eric said.
Do one thing at a time, Hissy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What does Mike say? Mike says if the Germans put a tank in Normandy, attack with 3 infantry, and use a major offensive, if German puts half the infantry in Normandy, you can land with 2 infantry and pair and eliminate. I think what we need to do is get Mike on here to play at some point, and he can prove his point.
Well,
But I see what
yeah,
he's saying. But
yeah,
that's the beauty of a game like this, right? Now, Richard tried something. I tried something different. Mike's got a different idea. And for
and
such a small package, the fact that you've got these types of choices talks,
yeah.
it just implies that it's a nice, solid design. And again, these games are not going to be perfect. We're not looking for perfect. We're just discussing, as designers, concepts and ideas so that we can learn from these types of designs. And that's the whole purpose of this in a lot of ways.
Everyone is talking about the game. No one has flipped the table. It's a win. It's a win.
Don't challenge me now. I might want to have to flip the table just to do it.
No, don't. No, don't.
I
And
won't.
Mike, you can actually attack with 3 infantry as long as you send the paratroopers in.
Yeah.
So paratroopers would be the third infantry.
Let me ask you this. Okay, hold on. You got caught. You know what? I think I figured out why my Nightbot is like that because at one point I set up some stuff on Twitch and I set some Nightbots up for Twitch, but I'm not on Twitch. And it must just be somewhere embedded on my account that it just shows up on StreamYard. But now I think it's funny. So I'm going to let the Nightbot be the Nightbot and do what it does best, which is annoy people.
Okay.
Who wants to dance? Come on.
I think that some parts of the sentences may have been parsed by Nightbot as links. Too many capital letters and periods, and maybe the bot goes
Oh yeah,
crazy.
Nightbot is nowhere near as smart as us humans. This is not like AI that we need to work. If Nightbot was controlling the world, I think we'd be okay. Just saying. Yeah, you didn't post a link, boss. I think we're all good.
Well, thank you in any case for allowing me to speak about this game. I think that it's
Yes.
worth to talk about and worth giving it a try multiple times
Yeah.
because it is a puzzle to crack. It's the best to be enjoyed with a fellow human player because when you play it by yourself, I mean it's not this it doesn't taste the same way.
Yeah. Oh, I think what I was saying is if this was my game and I was playtesting it, I would playtest it with two
Mhm.
um, major offensives for the Allies and see how that balances out. And again, he may have already done that, and he knows his game better than I do. So, um, yeah. But
So
like I said, I like it. It's got me thinking about because I could see this. I could see using this type of system for American Civil War
yeah.
because you've got a lot. I mean, even on a grander scale, right? That's not postcard. That maybe is Christmas card size. Just saying.
It could work.
Because
It
that's
could work.
coming in like 2 months. Oh, by the way, let me kind of give you guys a quick update on the postcards from the front game jam. Let me get to it on my page here real quick. So we have some updates. We currently have 19 joined. We still have the original two submissions, Richtofen and Toot Toot. And we've got 2 months, 6 days, 4 hours, and 6 minutes. But we're up to 19 people joined, and that's pretty awesome. And then what's going to happen is when that closes, we'll have 2 or 3 months to play. Richard freezes quite a bit.
That's me. Yeah.
Well, he's
I'm
from Poland, and it gets cold in Poland.
it's colder climate than California for sure.
Yeah,
So
so he
I
just habitually freezes up. But what I was saying is, you're going to have 2 or 3 months. I think it's 3 months to play those games and rate them, and but immediately the next game jam starts. So the way I have it set up is, at least for the foreseeable future, there's going to be a constant game jam, whether it's the postcards, Christmas cards from the front, which will be run every December, and then the July one, which is what we're in now, the card design one. I think I'm going to allow that one to be theme changed each July. So next July it might be a book game design or whatever the case may be, and I'll talk with some people um, and get some thoughts on how to do that. Okay, so now Cabby, who has been sleeping, has woke up and now she wants attention. So that's why she keeps walking in front of the camera and she's going to lay on my keyboard. Okay. The wife is turning on the AC and I'm getting chilled. Okay, fair enough. Eric says, my submission is on the way. I just need to stop changing the damn thing. Hey, put it up there. Let us play it because you know what's going to happen. We're going to get it. We're going to play test it, and you're going to change it.
Publish, and then re-edits.
That's how I like to write software, iterative. I try to get something working, a minimal viable solution, and then I go back and iterate and add functionality, fix bugs. Although, to be honest, I don't write bugs into my code. I don't know who does. I mean, geez, come on. I'm kidding. Okay, well, you guys are just wicked. The cat, too. Thank you, boss. Yeah, okay, Eric. Peer pressure time. Get it in, buddy. You know what? I think he just wants the attention. He just wants every week to say it's coming, and then we give him some attention because, he needs that.
If I can send him a message over the itch about his designs, I will then.
Yes.
So he will have a notification that on each someone asks.
Alrighty. So before we close this up, I'm going to say 2 thumbs up. I like it. All things considered, that being its postcard game, and these aren't meant to be perfect. I really like the design. I was a little leery at first, going, "What? No dice, no RNG." But after listening to what Clint's thought process is and actually playing the game, I learned something. I get it. And it's going to affect my designs going forward. Thank you, Stack and Limit.
I would like to find out about this attacking into the empty areas, whether they weaken the Americans' allies or even Germans at all, because frozen again. Yeah. I mean, if depending on the interpretation of this, how allies move into empty spaces, the way that Germans respond to it changes. So this is the thing that I would like to clarify.
I think we played it right. I think they should take step losses. I don't have a problem with all of them doing it. Mike's idea of maybe only one. But again, I think this is a very well-designed game. Again, the quality of this stuff is high. So I will take his World War II in an hour. I will try to put it into Tabletop Simulator. Give me a week or so. I've got a lot of stuff going on. And then we can play that on one of the episodes of Playtesters.
All right.
With that, guys, I'm going to thank everybody who was here tonight. Eric, Stacking Limit, Nagewa, Meandering Mike. I know that Chris was here. And I'm just scrolling up to make sure. Hexy, thank you, Hexy. Toamikis showed up tonight. Again, I appreciate it, everybody. I really do. Charles, as always, he's a stalwart. And I'm digging your graveyard. I think you did a great job on that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close it up. We'll see you next week with another game. I'm not sure what we're going to play yet, but we'll figure something out. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Now I got to find the end.
Your finding the end went on the live stream, so it's now recorded and.
Yeah, I'm getting better.
No, it's fine. I mean, people are having fun and enjoying this. And besides, even if the other people didn't participate like us two in the over tabletop simulator, we had discussion going just as well. So it's nice. It's fun.
Yeah.
Let me know